Shop Dogs. Just kind of give you a rundown of what the channel, what this is even about. Right here you can see the Dodge Viper behind me. It's an '04 Dodge Viper, and I've had it for quite a few years now. Done a lot of different modifications. Had a friend who got me involved with wanting the desire to go to the track, because we have Road Atlanta local to us here, and he took me around in his Lotus Elise, and it was just a blast. And I'm thinking, man, I gotta do some kind of track car to hang out with you. It's such a blast. So I found this Viper, and it was a stock Viper when I found it. It was actually wrecked out of California. So I purchased the car, brought it home, and then started putting it back together, getting it to run. And since then, I have just done so many different modifications, and I'd love to share the journey that I have been on with this car and kind of explain to you. So if you're a Viper owner, or just somebody thinking about getting a Viper and taking it to the track, I can at least share my experience with the vehicle. And so some of the things, just I guess to do a quick little rundown with, because it pretty much touched every area of the car. So when I first got the car, what I did is, it just felt funny in a way, because I'd be riding hard up to a corner and I'd hit the brakes and it would dive forward, and the rear end felt like it would like lift a little and then plant. And that was just a little bit of an unsettling feel for me. And so I'm like, what in the world can I do to correct this issue? So what worked best for me, and it was actually, I think it was the first modification that I actually did, but I went ahead and went from the hollow factory sway bars, and I got some solid sway bars from Corey. That made a huge difference. The rear end the car just felt a whole lot more stable. I did a track alignment with it, changed the alignment from, like, I guess your stock factory alignments, and so that to me made a big difference. It was feeling really good at the track. I never have actually, then the next kind of upgrade that I went ahead and went with, because I had always brakes, basically brake pads, because I heard that you don't want to be running factory brake pads on the track. They're just not designed for the heat and the temperature that you're going to get on the track. So actually the first time I had been on the track, I did have the sway bars, the solid sway bars, and I went with the Mentex on the front and Brakeman 3s on the rear, which was recommended to me by John. That was awesome. The brakes were just amazing. It really felt good. But I'm always wanted to tinker, always wanted to learn, always wanted to do stuff to it. So then in the progression of stuff, I ended up, I guess, to do kind of a quick rundown for you, what I've ended up doing on the car. Brake wise, I went with the stainless steel lines on it. I run different pads. In the process, and I'll do some episodes on brake specific, but I actually am running a track rotor and pad dedicated for just the track. And since I don't have just a straight track car, I actually swapped the rotors out, put my street ones back on it, explained the reasons in a different episode why I chose to do it that route, because it didn't start that way. Then I run a little different rotor. It's more of like the ACRX rotor, gets a little more bite for the pad. I've changed out the pistons on the front calipers, have not on the rear yet. Run titanium shims and a few other things like that on the brakes. But I did have an upgraded piston still on the factory calipers, but that, for me, it seems to be working. I definitely don't have a brake issue. I have more of a driver skill issue when it comes to braking and this particular vehicle. When I first got it, I guess I'll go to paint. It definitely started out, it was a white, an '04 Mamba, so it was the white Mamba edition, so red interior. Um, and since then, I mean, you can see it's kind of progressed. I actually did this paint job on the car. Been a process of learning to paint because I just like to learn about everything on the car. So it's got a Gen 4 hood. That's not the stock hood that comes with the vehicle. All the rest of the body panels and everything else on this car are stock. Is a Gen 4 hood though. So I did, that would be the only difference body panel wise change. I have added the arrows, so I'm running the 2010 wing that you see here. So that is the factory wing on here, replication of the factory wing. I actually have then the ACR front splitter and the dual dive planes on the front end, and that's made a huge difference to explain later in episodes. Just the differences that I have noticed taking it to the track and the field and stuff. So that's aero upgrades that I've done on the vehicle. So then I have added a autoform roll bar in here because I'm like, cause this takes you to speeds that are pretty fast. So I definitely didn't want to end up rolling the vehicle on the factory roll hoops. They may be fine, I don't know. I did not ever want to experience that. So I have actually installed the autoform roll hoop. You can't see it because the top's up, but it is there. I'll show a video later, an episode later on that. Awesome product. Definitely 2 thumbs up on that one. Definitely awesome product, great fit. Company seems to be a great company. Engine wise, it's gone through a lot of progressions. I'd taken it to the track and I was really feeling comfortable with the car and how it felt, and so I'm like, my friend that got me involved with going to the track, he with his Lotus Elise, I'm like, man, I'm gonna supercharge this thing. That's what I'm gonna do. And he's like, you don't need any more power, you don't need to supercharge it. And I'm like, I'm gonna supercharge it. I just always wanted to tinker with something, so so I have added a supercharger on it, and later I'll show you some pictures in a different episode where that ended up. Crazy story, caused a lot of work. But so engine wise, I have the I added the swing arm pickup on the oil pan. These things sounded like they could get oil starvation with just the factory non-swingable pickup. So it does have the swing arm pickup. Let me think what. So now it's a built motor on it. 2 thumbs up to Exotic Engine, Kevin. You're the bomb. Awesome engine. So I guess it's a good thing that it cranked it, that it somewhat kind of crapped out on me when I had Randy Potes driving the vehicle in Ant. Show you a video of that. He only got like 4 laps in, and the experience got ruined. Got me a built engine though, so that's awesome. Thing's been bolt proof, so now it's a built engine. I've gone through a couple of different suspensions. Different shocks are on it now. I've gone through a couple different ones versus the stock shocks that are on it, so shocks are different. Runs a catch can. Trying to think, it's SCT tuned. The fuel system is a return system. It is not the, so I have added a return system to dual pump, 450s in it. That's a whole nother story too. It was SCT tuned, and Unleashed Tuning, Tori, you're awesome. There's quite a few awesome tuners. Todd, give you a shout out. A&C, definitely an awesome guy. Thank you so much on that area kind of too. I have been, since I want to learn everything about the car, I actually do tune the car now. I've been fortunate enough where people were willing to share their experience with me because they know that I like to have hands on the vehicle and know and do and tinker with everything that goes on with the vehicle, and so that's something that I tune now with actually SET. So Kevin, great product, especially for the factory ECU. That's awesome product for me for the boosted, and I have enjoyed it a little better than the SCT stuff, although their components are a little snazzier looking, but product-wise, though, I really I'm happy with that platform with tuning the factory one. Eventually, I plan on going with a Motec, though, just because that's something I think would be better for what all is going on with the vehicle. It's got a different, so I guess those are a whole lot of hoses and lines and intercoolers and all kinds of upgrades there too. And the stereo has progressed to basically a dual din stereo cutout. That was a fun project to actually do to get that accomplished in the 1.5 din slot that's designed from the factory in this car. So that was another fun little thing. The exhaust system's all different. It's got headers. I mean, pretty much every type of, got brake ducting now for the brakes. That made a huge difference too for me, especially at the track, not having to bleed brakes and stuff. And so I plan on breaking all of these things that I have done and the progression that I have gone through with the Viper, taking it to the track, and for me, feeling more comfortable with this platform in just feeling comfortable with it, feeling secure. So when I do an input, it's a controlled response, something that doesn't feel funny. It feels very, very stable with the car, which is what I'm looking for. The car's way, way, way above my skill set. To kind of give you an idea, and I'll post this kind of one of the videos later, but 139 flat is the fastest I have been able to track safely, which is pretty fast for road Atlanta, but it's nowhere near where I know I'm going with the car. And that was just with the aero change, with the wing and the splitter, because like for me, 142 was like where I kind of felt comfortable. Braking zones are way early. I'm not pushing it at all. I had a friend that got me with the Elise. He was doing a 140 and a half in this particular car. I was not able to do those speeds, but just the aero change alone knocked off like 4 seconds. And that was just the first time being able to go take the car to the track, run dedicated track tires, and I'll explain that later why. Actually, last time was the first time on R88Rs. Previously it's been Michelin and the Pirellis, Michelin Pilot Sports, and the Pirelli P0s. Would be the tires that I personally have run on this car. So I'm anxious to kind of see. I definitely enjoyed the R88s, R88Rs. I really like that for the only time. Half the day was rainy too, so didn't really have a chance to push it, because I definitely want to bring the car home. I don't want to create a lot of extra work. I'm not just going to take it to some shop when I wreck it driving and say, here, fix it for me, and because I do the fixings. I'm not all that jazzed up about creating a lot of extra work for myself. I guess to end this out, hopefully the journey, and as I explained the modifications that I have done in this car, it'll be beneficial for you. Again, just kind of reiterating, that for you as maybe an owner looking to do upgrades or somebody looking to get into this platform. Maybe you can learn a little bit from my experience and what I've done with this. So in ending this, I'm going to go ahead and I'll open the hood, show you the hood, and I'm going to do a startup of the vehicle because it's just awesome. I love the sound. I could be the slowest person on the track. I could be the slowest person on the street. Wouldn't matter to me as long as the sound is there. And for me, it is an awesome sound. One of the things I know that gets kind of joked with, well, it sounds like a truck. You know, like the UPS delivery person might be some kind of joke that you will get. And I can see how it sounds a little bit different when you're off to the side, since the exhaust point out the side. If you're standing on one side, you're only going to hear 5 cylinders singing to you. In the car, you hear all 10. Totally different experience to listen to all 10 and not just 5. So I'm going to end it with, I'm going to go ahead and show you under the hood. Awesome vehicle. And then I'm going to do a startup for you. So maybe you can hear what I hear. And it's just like such a stress reliever, awesome vehicle. And you'll be able to see from the picture, obviously, the shocks that I'm running currently are Motons. I'll get into a later episode on the spring rates, and I went through a lot of different spring rates. Went through a couple fender liners, wheel well liners, but it's resolved now. But I definitely had to turn it off because I forgot to open the garage door, and this thing's catless. So my dad over here is probably just about to pass out from the smell. So signing off. Hopefully you get some benefit and you have fun watching it. And something else I'm going to do as a teaser, what even started this whole process, is I am going to convert this car right here to total carbon fiber. Front to rear, every panel, exterior panel on the car. I'm going to do the stiffening of the door so it's not just thin skin. I'm going to add the stiffening for crash protection too, which you may or may not get a lot of different times. And I'm going to do it not a painted, but I'm going to do the carbon fiber just clear coated on it so you can always see the weave, but I'm going to try to duplicate a factory color scheme with carbon fiber and Kevlar. So that's going to be some of the episodes. I have never done carbon fiber before in my life. I'm learning the process. So far I've completed 4 molds. So I've completed both rockers, and you can see probably where this part was coming off. I basically just put this back on, wondering if you saw it in the video and you saw the hole right there. You might wonder why the hole was there, so I at least put that up. But you can see when I started it, it rattled it loose, so it came off really. Of course, I didn't put any screws in it, but it definitely had loosened up from the rattle and the chop from the car. Such an awesome sound. I'm gonna go grab a picture of what I'm actually, the color scheme I'm trying to duplicate. Learning carbon fiber, such an incredible journey. Hopefully it inspires people to learn with me and wrench. And again, this is Shop Dogs. I'm going to grab the photo of what my vision is, and maybe it will excite you too. voila, this is what I'm going to duplicate right here. And the red is going to be red Kevlar. And I really hope that the red is actual red Kevlar. I don't want to do the blend. I've already ordered some blend of carbon and Kevlar, but it was not red enough for me. But that is what I'm going to end up with in the episodes that will be on this channel, Shop Dogs. Feel free to comment, leave your suggestions. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope your day is awesome and blessed.